he texts me all the time. We text each other, just, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? And then someone said, he's really into you, right? I was like, no, he's not. No, he's not. And it's like, no, he is. And then someone else said the same thing. He's really into you. So the next day, we were sort of out, like just hanging out like we were going to anyway. And I made a move to make out with him. And he's like, whoa. He's like, I'm sorry, I don't like you that way. And I was like, holy shit, I'm such a fucking, like, that hurt. And
did you tell him, like, everyone told me to do it?
Yeah, and then I told my friends, like, you're an idiot. He wasn't into me. And she laughed. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck all of you.
But first, a word from our sponsors.
Learning English is hard. That's why I make Easy Stories in English, where you can have fun while you learn. You can listen to stories full of action, romance, and mystery. Each episode, I tell stories for beginner, intermediate, and advanced learners, and there's a story for every mood. Whether you want something to wake you up or relax before going to bed, Easy Stories in English is the podcast for you.
Welcome to the Man-Whore Podcast.
Shout out to all the podcast bros, the Insta hoes, the TikTok thoughts and Tumblrinas. What's up, all you Craigslist cruisers? This is Billy Procida, and you're listening to the Man-Whore Podcast. I guess you could call me a retired Craigslist cruiser. That does seem to describe me from the ages of 19 to 28. RIP, personal section. Been coming at you every Wednesday with sex-positive conversations for nearly 9 years. Oh, wow. This week, I'm chatting with stand-up comedian Jaye McBride. Her newest stand-up special, Daddy's Girl, comes out on Friday on YouTube. She's a nationally touring headliner and a regular at the Comedy Cellar, which is, if you don't know, it means she's really fucking funny. And you're going to experience that in just a little bit, everybody. That Podcast Bro article, did y'all see that last week? The writer could have been far more vicious. If you didn't catch it, early last week, the New York Times put out an article called, "Would You Date a Podcast Bro?" And all you single ladies, probably in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, have been on a first date, probably an online date with a podcast bro. You probably were like, oh, he's got like a really great voice. And then you found out like he uses that voice far too much because he did not ask you a single question other than, what did you want to order? I don't know. That's at least my thought of a podcast bro. The article is actually not anything crazy. If you actually read the article, it's really just people going like, yeah, maybe it's a red flag. Maybe it's not. You do you, boo boo. But I really don't think like the podcast bro is that far off from like chick with trust fund who is trying her hand at travel blogging. Is it that far off? Like if shots are going to be fired. Carol's 237 Instagram followers for her blog, Cruising with Carol. We know that's not paying the bills. I'm not going to make fun of you for swinging the bat. I dig someone with a realistic passion. I think that's cool. Anyways, I'm linking to the New York Times article in the show notes. I opened it up prepared to be very defensive, and I ended up being like, yeah. Tinder and Bumble, I have not swiped in this calendar year. I think I opened up Field like once and like did a few taps, but I was kind of like, I don't really care. I like that I'm not swiping. And I'm doing even more okay because as of recording this, it's Monday. I am now 13 days, no marijuana. No weed for Billy in almost 2 weeks. This is and I'm feeling it. I am feeling up my drive, like my sex drive. Let's just start there. My sex drive has resurged in a way that I'm like concerned about this like I was back in 2017. Yeah, this is good. I think this is a good sign. I have a new maturity to be able to handle the libido I once had. If you're newer to the program or you jumped in at some point and you don't really know too much about my history, I didn't smoke weed at all. Most of the time when people would offer me weed, I was like, oh, no thanks, I don't smoke. And which would be weird to people because my pupils apparently are super dilated. I've been accused quite a few times of being under the influence of a variety of substances I've never even seen in person. Like I remember freshman year at my boarding school, I had to go to like a 5-week summer orientation, and I was a big Kevin Smith fan, huge Kevin Smith fan. Didn't understand most of the jokes, but like I knew I was a Kevin Smith fan, and I saved up all my money working at the pizza shop that summer so that my mom could send me down with the babysitter to Red Bank, New Jersey, to Jay and Silent Bob's secret stash so I could just go fucking haywire. Yeah, I could have ordered it on the internet, but I wanted to make the pilgrimage. That was my mecca. And Kevin Smith is the creator of Bluntman and Chronic, or the creator of the characters who create Bluntman and Chronic, but all the same. And one of the things I bought was this Bluntman and Chronic poster. Like, you know, they're looking like superheroes, and it's funny, whatever. I don't even know what Chronic was. I think it had to do with weed, but I didn't quite know if it like was the weed itself. Was it some sort of weed apparatus? Was it a smoking device? Was it paraphernalia? I'd heard that word. I put it up in my dorm room, and the first morning, the dean, Mr. Neal, he's coming around and he's checking all the dorms, you know, all these new kids, checking our room inspections that we had every morning. And the first morning I'm there, he comes in, he looks at the wall, and he tears down my poster, and I start crying. Because I didn't know I wasn't allowed to have that. If someone had said you're not allowed to have that, I would have just taken it down and rolled it up and put it in a closet or like sent it back home. I would just, you know, I'm not trying to break the rules. You just got to tell me what the rules are. And instead of telling me you need to take that down, he just tears it up. I start crying. He takes me into the stairwell. It's like 7:30 in the morning after my first night sleeping in Connecticut. And he just leans down at me because he's a former like linebacker. And so he just like, he's got these big traps and he's leaning down. He's got his buzz cut and he's just staring at me, scared shitless 14-year-old boy, and says, "Have you been smoking pot?" And I said, "I'm not even really sure what pot is." And he's like, "Your pupils are dilated and your eyes are bloodshot." And I'm like, "Cause I'm crying. Cause I'm very scared right now. I don't want to be here." I would like frequently until they realized how much of a good boy I was and how much I didn't do drugs. I got accused of doing drugs a lot. Anyways, I didn't start smoking weed more regularly until like every once in a while, 2017, 2018. But by 2019, I became like a very regular smoker. And by the time lockdown hit, I mean, I am an everyday smoker. I do not want to experience this world until all this shit is over. And I've had a hard time like breaking that habit. Several weeks ago, I saw Kevin Smith post on Instagram. It was the 5-year anniversary of his major heart attack that, you know, got him to get his health together. And like he slipped in there. He said like, "Yeah, and I'm also 8 weeks no weed. I feel clear-headed. I feel different. I think this is the way I want to live life now." And I thought to myself, well, I mean, if that's what Kevin's doing, and he's feeling more creative and he's feeling a drive, and all right, I'll give it a try. Second day into not smoking weed, I was like, I got invited for a booty call. I left my apartment after midnight, a thing that would never happen if I was home and stoned alone. And I've been feeling it. Like I'm hornier again, not just to like jack it, but to like go out and connect sexually with other humans. I am in a better mood. I am clear-headed. I don't wake up with that fog, that like pseudo marijuana hangover in the morning. I'm writing at 9:00 at night. Can't remember last time that happened. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. Like, yeah, weed does make sex feel great, but smoking weed regularly was starting to prevent me from even getting to the sex that was going to feel great. So yeah, like I'm doing a marijuana-less march, and it feels good, people. And you know what else is going to feel dope? This Saturday, the Naked Comedy Show at Hacienda. Yes, last Saturday I was there till like 5 a.m. for a fuck party. And this Saturday, I'm going to be there taking my clothes off on stage and telling some jokes. Tickets are still available for both our 8 and 10 o'clock shows. I'll have a ticket link at the top of this week's show notes. And it's also in my Instagram bio as well. Hope to see y'all there. Oh, and if I didn't say already, it's clothing optional for the audience. Hey. Before I get to my guest this week, Jaye McBride, let's do a quick fan whore appreciation moment. Okay. I want to give a shout out right now. This fan whore, she's real nice and sweet to me on Twitter too. She doesn't even have to be. You know why? Because she's really hot. but like it's also good to be hot and nice and sweet. And that's why I want to say thank you so much to E.B. Cotenord. She's a super cute courtesan out in the Midwest. You go follow her on Twitter at EBCOTENORD, E.B. Cotenord. Thank you for supporting the Man Whore podcast with an annual membership. Putting in the commitment, babies. Looking forward to sharing that sweet, sweet, sexy bonus content with you all year round. Did you know you can save money with an annual membership? Pay up front, save some money, helps Billy make the rent the next month. Become a member today. Enjoy the benefits at patreon.com/manwhorepodcast or download the Patreon app and find me on there. Okay, Jaye McBride, super funny stand-up comedian. Visit her website, jaymcbride.com, for all of her touring dates. You're going to want to catch her if she's in a city near you. And if you live in New York City, I got to say, catch her at the Comedy Cellar. Might be the best comedy club in the country. Certainly the best club in New York. Even if they make all the comics wear their clothes, we'll forgive them for that one. Let's go talk about dating and detransitions with Jaye McBride. Let me tell you all a quick story. I went to go meet up with my family a couple months ago, and my dad comes up to my sister's house, and he's got a big bandage on his head. And I was like, "Oh, geez, Dad, what happened to you?" He's like, "I got into an accident." I was like, "What happened?" "Yeah, no, like I got into an accident. I hit a telephone pole." I said, "Whoa, Dad, like a car accident?" He's like, No. I was like, "What, did you fall on your bike?" He's like, Nah, not that." I was like, "What happened?" He's like, "Nah, I was walking home from the bar and I walked into a telephone pole." But if he had been in a car accident, I would have told the man, "Dude, you should check out Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm." Yes, that's our sponsor this week. Morgan & Morgan, who have won over $15 billion for their clients over the years. With over 100 offices nationwide and more than 800 lawyers at your service, Morgan & Morgan can help you with your injury claim and make sure you get the money that you deserve. Their fee is free unless they win. They don't get paid unless you get paid. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/manwhore or dial pound law. That's pound for the kids. Like for if you're 23 and you get into an accident or you slip and fall at work or something like that, pound, that's the hashtag symbol. We used to call it a pound. Now pound is like fist to fist bump. I don't even know if you all call that a pound anymore. Anyways, one last time, go to forthepeople.com/manwhore or dial pound 529 from your phone.
There's this one cartoonist, Ben Garrison, who draws all these like pro-Trump cartoons. And he's like super MAGA, but every time he draws Trump, it's like a full head of hair. It's like a muscular guy. It's very weird.
It's always like the superhero thing. It's like, stop it.
It's like, come on, please. Like I don't know. Like I like Obama. I loved Obama. I don't think I would ever draw him in a way that's like fuckable to everybody.
But you know like Obama's already fuckable.
He's already fuckable,
people, right?
Yeah. He's already fuckable.
He's arguably one of the most fuckable presidents we had.
I'd say more than JFK. More than JFK. Definitely more than Clinton. Clinton's a fucking dirtbag. He's so dirty. Yeah, but have you looked? But I don't know why, but he was like a sex symbol in the 90s. Like Clinton was
in the 90s. He came out with that saxophone.
I think he was a sex symbol for a president. I mean, like I don't think anyone listened to a saxophone in the 90s and thought, "Ooh, girl," because I played the sax in high school. No one was turned on by. I played the sax in high school, and that. So yeah.
So this is like, so first step was like getting that done.
Right.
I did that at AVN and then it was making her aware of it. She is aware of it. She loves it. She says she loves
Susan
it.
Sarandon said that? Oh.
We got the Twitter attention from her a couple times with it. Nice. And then the next step is obviously like, "Hey, I'm also non-monogamous." So like, "Hey, come on, let's."
If I were a porn star, I'd call myself Susan Sarandon.
That's a great.
Thank you. I'm out of here. It's all downhill from here.
Oh no, I did have one porn star refuse to sign it because of politics, though.
Really? Yeah. Because they hate Sarandon?
She was super anti-Clinton, and so very politely, very respectfully, declined to sign it in the hotel room. And when I was like, "Hey, do you want to sign it too?" She's like, "She was a Bernie bro. I'm gonna pass."
Oh wow. Okay.
Like, okay. That's
right.
Fine.
That's the point. Just like to almost like an ink facial / chest load.
Yeah, like I'm not going to tell you how to sign it. If you ruin her beautiful face with the Nina Hartley autograph, that is an autograph I'm okay with ruining, Susan, but like that is my queen.
I mean, like, although let's be honest, Hillary Clinton was most people hate Hillary Clinton. You know,
too.
like I hate the Clintons. I just like most people plugged their nose, some people didn't. It's like it is what it is.
Yeah, it was like I mean, Burr was like you have someone who's like an idiot or someone who's evil.
Right.
It's like, pick who you got to pick.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, she's like not nearly as evil. She's got a touch of it. She's got a touch of evil, I think, like a touch of like you know, she's very self-centered, very, you know, but
I don't think she's ordered hits on anyone. I do think she has it in her.
Yeah, I could see it. Like she would enjoy the drone strikes more than she should, you know. I'd be fine with it.
What if that's what she got off to at night? What if that's what she rubbed one out to when she had her presidential Hitachi?
Right. Maybe that's what she has. Like someone built a drone that just like rubbed your labia like a sex toy.
Oh yeah.
like a helicopter that just sort of like landed on it. Ugh.
Wait, have you ever jerked off to like a presidential person?
No. I never even
turned you on in politics.
Never even thought about it.
No?
I have a tough time. Like I don't have nearly the sex drive since like when I transitioned. Like one of the things, estrogen just really drops the sex drive a lot.
Okay.
So we're recording.
Oh,
right?
we're on.
Just, all right.
I do that annoying Mark Maron thing where I'm like, at some point, like we fade in and
we'll be like, all right.
Oh, we recorded. Oh, we did the whole time. Oh, fuck you. It's
all right,
like,
cool.
So,
No,
I mean, I'll say.
I assume so. I mean, I was like holding the microphone up to my mouth like we're recording.
Just like a 6-minute sound check.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
I'm really bad at levels.
Oh,
I need you to
That's
talk
fine.
that long to to check.
No, but like honestly, like masturbation now takes work. It's like I need to set aside an afternoon, you know, that sort of thing. It's not like I can just like masturbate in the shower.
Oh no.
You know, it's not like that anymore. It's like you really need to like take a day and then just like, you know, like, all right, we'll do this today. Let's get up for it. You know, like I kind of, it's weird how like I just have, you know, as a guy, like you can jerk off 3 times a day. Yeah. You know, some guys like I don't think I ever did. I think 2. I think I jerked off twice in
Only
one day.
2?
And that was the. But I didn't even. I like here's how pathetic. Like I was raised very Catholic. We didn't talk about sex. I didn't even masturbate until college. I had no idea. I would just have wet dreams a lot though, because like all that like stuff I didn't know. You know, and then people would make masturbation jokes. I'd be like, I don't understand choking. Like, I didn't understand that what the whole thing was.
Why is there a chicken involved at all?
Yeah,
Why?
I was like,
very
you just,
dangerous.
You just squeeze it. I don't understand. So then you know, and then finally I'm just like, oh,
do you declaw the chicken?
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
I don't know. It depends what you're into.
I wouldn't bring it into the bed otherwise.
Right. Like I said, the estrogen just really. Although it's oddly enough now. I can have multiple orgasms, like up to like 5 sometimes.
In
crazy,
like one sesh?
Crazy. Yeah, in one sesh.
Like with ejaculation?
Yeah, but it's not real. Like a little.
Oh, like a dribble.
Little. Yeah, and then sometimes it'll be like I have to like pee after number 2 or 3, but then I go right. It's weird. It's like
I don't think it's weird. That's a gift.
Once I get going, it's like, but they're also not as good as when I was a guy. Like that, they aren't as like, bam, all at once, and you're like relieved, and you're that was great.
Right, because when like as a guy, it's like I come if I want to, I can just be like, and I'm done, I'm good.
Right, yeah.
And you're just like, I'm coming, and fuck, I guess I have to keep. I gotta go then.
That's how it feels. And then after like 4 or 5, you're like, okay, now I'm tired.
I wonder if there's like a binge element to it. It's like if I worked it up to do this, like I got to get a week's worth of coming.
Right, it's an OCD thing. It's an OCD thing. So yeah.
Oh, before it was OCD,
my sex toy is just a nub.
Well, it's just like, no, I have to turn the lights off 4 times. I got to come 4 times.
Check the stove.
I can't come till I check the stove.
Right.
It's like I'm just thinking about, is it going to blow up?
Right.
Yeah, no, it is interesting what you can mix up in there. Do you have to make it like, is it like more of a decision? Like, I'm going to masturbate today, or is it like, ooh, today I think I actually want to masturbate, and now I'm
that's kind of like, I mean, some like for example, I'll have like a little bit of a sex drive. Like I'll be in bed one night and be like, oh, all right, I can see rubbing myself a little bit, but I won't be like, yeah, but that means maybe I'm ready tomorrow. You know?
I've talked to some chicks who go like, almost as if it's part of a self-care routine. Like I do yoga on Wednesdays and I need to masturbate on like Tuesday and Thursday nights.
With me, it's like every couple weeks. It feels like.
No wonder you get so much. No wonder you're crushing it in comedy.
Well,
You're not distracted by this all the
Right.
time. Sometimes I think, how much more would I get? How much more long would I be in my career if I could put this down?
Right, I can see that. Well, maybe it's like it's not just that, but I think like when guys masturbate and there's such a like that relief, like I can go to bed, I can go to sleep now, and that's it. So like maybe you need to do work and then reward yourself with a good long spank, and then yeah.
Well, this is probably a good time to just like briefly mention at least.
That I'm trans.
Oh, I wasn't even going to say that.
I think they figured it out.
Well, so I don't know. Sometimes I'll have on like a trans guest, and I'll be like, you know what? Like, let's just talk. Why?
Right.
It doesn't
Okay.
always have to be
Right.
just
No,
that,
exactly.
right? So I'll be
100%.
like,
I appreciate that, actually.
I was just going to introduce you and be like, I'm here with the incredibly funny
Aw,
comedian
well,
Jaye
thank you.
McBride, someone I only talk to in person once a decade.
Right. This is good. We should be good till the 30s, like early 30s.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. I'll still
if-
be performing in a restaurant in Albany. You'll be eating at the restaurant in Albany.
Oh, that'd be
before
nice.
You perform at what do they have up there? The Funny Bone? Is that?
There is. The Funny Bone's terrible, though. I hate the Funny Bone. They're just, it's all those chains are terrible for comedy. I hate those chains.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like, I don't know. It's weird. Like they give out all the free tickets, and like it's like people from all over. Like so, it's like even though I'm used to performing in front of conservative crowds or mixed crowds. Like if it's all conservatives, especially in this era, it's like I'm gonna get people, just some bros staring at me like I'm fucking a fucking groomer, or like I'm gonna walk around cutting up kids' penises or something, you know. So,
But it's like you pay, like, but it's also like you're here, like you chose to come
Right.
see me. So
yeah.
why are you upset?
Oh yeah, totally. No, 100%. But I mean, like New York is just like the clubs are better. They're smaller. They're more intimate. You can like talk to people, and yeah.
Generally more liberal, but there is a mix. So
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like the conservatism takes over the room.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Like I get people from red states all the time at the cellar, and they'll be like there are people from Syracuse, which essentially is a red state, you know. But they were great. They had so much fun.
What's interesting is I feel like conservative crowds, they like to laugh at themselves if you like call them
Yes.
conservative.
Yes.
You'll be like you know, Mishawaka, Indiana. You make a little that's not really a joke for the Fox News crowd. So they didn't laugh at the joke, but they like that I'm acknowledging. I know that they're like a Fox News loving audience.
100%. I was doing I did this. What do they call those? Rotary Club, not Rotary, Elks Lodge.
Elks Lodge.
No.
Or
one of the other ones.
VFW?
Yes, a VFW, and they were like, they're just saying like, oh, you know, no, you're gonna be great. They love the dirty stuff. They love all that stuff. And I was like, all right, we'll see. Yeah. And then
you show up and they realize, oh no, they just think I am dirty as an existence.
Right. Exactly. And most of the set was great, but then towards the end, I was like, I said something about how, you know, and last year it was there were over 250 anti-trans bills introduced, and someone in the back yelled "good," and I was like, all right, this bit I'm not gonna. And then so I was like, I'll just go back to calling the pictures of the VFW vets pedophiles or whatever, and then, like, because I know you laugh at that shit. But on the flip side of that, like the liberal crowds, whenever I call myself a tranny, they're like, you shouldn't use that word, you know. So it's like, come on now.
Is that not wild? Is that not? That's when like I think liberalism starts to like eat itself through the Ouroboros type of thing. You know?
100%. In New York, they'll hear trans and just, you know, their assholes like tighten up. You know, they're like, here we go. You know, and so it's but whatever, you know. And I think just that was one of the good things about doing comedy in Albany and starting there is that I think I learned to talk to both and try to win everyone over.
How do you do that? What's your strategy?
Well, I make fun of myself pretty much, and then I, you know, even if I tell a trans joke, in essence, I'm either making fun of myself or getting back at someone who was like clearly deserved it, you know, or like my dad. I'll talk about my dad and how he was like, you know, he used to beat me and all this stuff. So then if I make fun of my dad, they're like, oh, I have dad issues too, you know what I mean? Or if I talk about growing up in a small town, there'll be people who are like, oh, I grew up in a small town too. So even though I'm trans, I'm like, that pretty much imprints every part of my life growing up. You know, I mean, I can't like, I don't know what it's like to live other than being trans. So even though like that's part of who I am, I think that I also, there are a lot of similarities that people are just like, you know what? Yeah, we're actually not that different. My hope is they look at it and say, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all that I'm hearing about trans people, maybe all that's wrong. Maybe Tucker Carlson doesn't know entirely what he's talking about. You know, I doubt it, but that would be my goal, to be like, you know, maybe it's not like all trans people are evil and overly sensitive and trying to, you know, maybe they're just people. And that's my goal. But I don't, whether it works in this environment, I don't know. I mean, people before Trump, I was in Nebraska, and rural Nebraska, not even Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the people there, I know they never met a trans person before. I know it. And they would coming up, shaking hands after show, talking about how great it was and how much they enjoyed it. And that just made my day, you know?
Because you're like, I am their first exposure.
Right.
And it seems like it went well.
Yeah. It went well. They looked at me and as a comedian, a funny comedian. That's all they didn't look at me as a trans person first, you know? And the fact that being trans now is such a weird thing. It's not political, you know, it's part of who we are, you know, but for some reason people just want to make it political everywhere, both sides, you know, and it's frustrating.
What type of frustrations do you feel with that?
There's I think people just like want to be like, they'll want to say things like, oh, and we need like Hillary Clinton talking about how pro-trans it's like, no, you're not, like you are now because like it's convenient and politically necessary, but you weren't like, she was very anti-trans. Even Kamala Harris had a couple hiccups, but I like back in the day, but I feel like people they're giving lip service and tokenizing more than they are actually looking at things. And there are some, like, people always talk about like trans kids transitioning, and like, to be clear, there are trans children and their lives are made immeasurably better by transitioning. And
you also don't know that those trans children are trans children because like they may not know how to even say that depending on the age and such.
No, but I mean, they do though. I mean, it gets to a point with the right therapy, with the right doctors, there are. And lately there's been this whole thing, like some people aren't trans, but they transition anyway. They regret it. They detransition, they call it. So now clearly like that, something needs to be done if that's the case. I mean, if, you know, we do need to learn, even though it's only like 1 or 2%. Like, I feel like, one, that doesn't mean we have to punish trans kids for this 1 or 2%, but also we need to find out why. Like, and I think some people on the liberal side, not really the trans side, just look at it as like this blind issue of like you know, no, everything's bad.
Blind support.
Right. And I think like it's important to look at that and be like, all right, why is this happening? And then it happens more to kids who are born female. So, well, why is that? Maybe we need to change the way we treat trans girls versus trans boys, but that's not something like liberals will say now.
And how much of that has to do with like the society and
societal
how they
pressures,
treat women and how men treat women? It's like, you know what? Maybe it's safer to not be a woman,
right? And also things like women are more experimental in high school and college. So they're willing to be open to new things. They'll try different things. I mean, like how many women in college were like lesbian until graduation? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just
my co-captain in track and field in high school was like lesbian through and through, and then like 2 years after we all graduated college, it was like she's pregnant,
right?
Oh, with a guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How progressive of her.
Right. And I mean, that happens. And I think that's just something that people need to recognize too. But so, I mean, there's a reason why girls have eating disorders more often than guys, you know? And I think so that's the sort of thing that frustrates me, where it's like, instead of this, like everyone, like no matter what, if you're a therapist, you just blank check, say you're trans, you go, here are your hormones, you know, not that, all right, to be clear, not a lot of kids are getting hormones, like usually it's not until they're 16 or something like that. So I mean,
there are guidelines in place.
Yes, 100%.
I don't know them. I'm a dumb comedian with a fuck
100%.
show,
There are guidelines in place, and no one's getting their dick cut off at 5 years old. You know, no one's getting their boobs cut off like at 12. You know, unless, well, there are actually like cis girls get their breast reductions all the time.
Oh well, but not for transitioning.
Right. You know, but I mean, being uncomfortable. Right, but being uncomfortable is being uncomfortable. You know, whether it's for that. But I mean, like, I think I hope therapists like actually learn and develop and make it like they could help a lot and be like, by being sure that someone's trans before you do all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think that's super important. And I don't know that that's being addressed.
Yeah. And I don't, and with the blind support thing, like I just try not to like have a stance on it. Chris Rock really informed me as a child where he's like, you shouldn't decide your stance on an issue until you've heard the issue.
Right.
Like he has this bit in, I think it's Bigger and Blacker, and it's the idea of like, you know,
great album.
That was my first
one of the best
Chris Rock
ones ever.
CD. Yeah. Maybe my first comedy CD. So he has that bit where he goes like, you know, there's some shit I'm conservative about. There's some shit I'm liberal about. Crime, I'm conservative. Prostitution, I'm liberal.
Right.
And right there, I was like 11. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hear issues first.
Right.
I like picking my slate based on my team. Like I'm very liberal on a lot of social issues, but gosh, don't ask me about capital punishment when that's important again.
Right. I know.
So for on detransitioning, like I've had Buck Angel on the show. I'm friendly with Buck, and I see him tweet a lot about the detransition stuff.
Crazy, yeah.
he's very big on.
Yeah.
So what the concern you expressed, he has the dial cranked very high.
Right.
And I don't understand even the issue. So I'm not going to try to like when you said, it's like, if I'm on stage, I use this word, like, and they say, you can't say, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right.
I'm not going to yell at Buck like you're wrong. It feels it could be wrong. I don't know.
Right. Well, like, especially like Twitter and the internet now, it's like people surround themselves with people they agree with, and that's it. And it's, so, I mean, like Buck Angel especially, it's like, yes, if it happens, that doesn't mean that trans kids don't still exist and don't, I mean, like the fact that like people see me, like, I'm 6 foot tall and I have a lot of features that could be considered very mannish that make it my life more difficult than if I transitioned as a kid. I wouldn't have been suicidal as a kid. I can guarantee that if I were allowed to transition at an early age. And that is happening now where kids are becoming suicidal, and to force them to go through puberty, which testosterone is incredibly powerful. I mean, like to have to go through, and it's almost impossible to undo the effects, to a large extent. So I mean, like it's to just do a blank check, like detransitioning is happening all over the place. We need to stop kids from getting this treatment. It's like, no, we need to be better at, I mean,
at evaluating individual cases.
Yeah.
You also don't want the blank check
right,
either.
Right. I mean, like people are misdiagnosed as having cancer. That doesn't mean we stop treating cancer. It means we get better at diagnosing it, or we find out why someone was misdiagnosed as having cancer. We don't just say like, no one gets chemo or everyone gets chemo. It's just like, we have to, and I think it's similar, and that's just how we need to look at it.
I didn't know like women were transitioning at young ages and detransitioning at like higher rates.
Right.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's
because like more liberal media doesn't really cover it all,
right,
and then like Fox News like covers it
all the time. Well, and they like there's some people who go on tour with someone who detransitioned. Like conservatives will do that, and it's like this isn't that's not the norm, and it's frustrating.
Love anecdotal evidence.
100%.
They love anecdotal evidence.
100%. Now there are people who transition to male to female and detransition later too. It's just not as nearly as frequent. And also a lot of the times they do it not just because they're not trans, but because life is harder as a trans woman than what they thought. Like someone who's 6'4" has a Cro-Magnon caveman brow, trying to live as a woman it's not gonna be tough. They might try it and be like, I can't do this.
And you might weigh out like, okay, which was more miserable.
Right. And it's like, so they go back to their life, and hopefully get therapy. But I mean, there are a lot of people who do it for that, or they do it, they detransition because they miss their wife, they miss their job, they miss like the perks of being a guy, they miss their kids. Like some people don't, after the divorce, they aren't allowed custody of their children. So they're like, all right, it's not worth it. I want to go back.
Plus being a guy, still pretty good.
Still pretty good time to be a guy.
Days,
you're still 45-0 in the presidency. So
still holding on to that card.
Right.
I'm gonna hold that for a bit longer. It's like
yeah, absolutely.
It's and just there's so much shouting about it, and I feel like like your voice gets drowned out in the process.
Yeah, or I get called a like turf or something like that, which is the opposite. Like
you get called turfy?
No, but I mean
like
people are
hint of it?
I mean people are weird. Like I remember I did this one. Like I do a lot of cartooning and stuff like that. I did this one for with trans sports. It was just like I drew a 7-year-old girl holding a soccer ball, a trans kid, and I made her soccer jersey like pink and blue. It's the colors of the trans flag. And then there's an older guy, a Republican, like points out, goes, "Hey, a monster." Meanwhile, there are actual monsters behind him, like corporate greed, and stuff like that. But that some of the comments I got from trans people were like insane. Like I would get like, "Your colors are backwards. It shouldn't be pink, then blue, then pink. It should be blue, then pink, then blue." And it's like, are you out of your fucking mind? It's a soccer jersey, and it's like you got the meta. Like it's like
It's like, this is why we lose.
Yes,
This is
yes.
why we
Like
lose.
this, you're fucking. And it was of course, it was someone in their 20s. It was someone who was like him/they, and it's just like, and I'm like, are you out of you're fucking 20 years old?
Yeah.
Don't give me this shit. Like, I've been trans for 3/4 of your life. Okay, so don't act like you're the fucking expert here.
You know, when you date, like, does this come up? Do you ever get into like arguments?
Right.
on it?
Well,
Does this-
usually when I'm dating, the guy's like, it has a ball gag on, and he's handcuffed to the bed, so he can't talk.
you found the solution.
Right, and then usually it's just me lecturing him, and then like letting him go, and that's it. Lecturing him for an hour and then letting him go. No, I mean it. Here's the thing with me. I almost say I don't date anymore.
If I may ask, you're in your like early 40s. Is that
yeah,
what
yeah.
Okay.
And so when I date, like I dated guys, pretty much predominantly guys for the longest time. What would happen is like especially on trans dating sites, and it's a little better now, I'm sure. The guys that would hit on me would be like, they just want to have sex. They don't want to date. They don't want anything. They don't want anyone to see them in public. You know,
Right.
It's like the moped joke. You know, like they're fun, but no one wants to see you riding one. You know, like that.
Not me. I am proud on my Revel scooter.
Nice. Mopeds are the shit.
At the end of every ride, they give you a little survey. It's like, what'd you love? Is the price of this? And there's an option that says best way to get around. And so
there we go.
Best way to get
I
around.
mean, some people love a good moped.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it felt like that, and it's just like, that's not what I'm looking for. I don't. Especially given that I don't have as high a sex drive as I used to.
Right.
Why would I want to just have sex with a random stranger and that's it? Like there's no companionship. And like, if I were to dating, I think I want, you know, I want to do things. I want to like have like a partnership. So, and so I feel like
cuddles.
Yeah, that's literally it. I just want the cuddles and the someone to take out the trash. That's literally it, 100%. But now I think when the last time I was dating, I went on, I had like an OkCupid or something like that, or I don't know, maybe it's the Muslim dating site I converted just for that, just give it a shot, and or the eHarmony or whatever that Christian one is. Oh no, Christian Mingle.
Christian
Mingle. That's it. Although they would probably love me. I put open
You do give like strong like suburban mom vibes.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the tats also say like, I will punch you if you touch my kid.
Right. A strong, like a suburban mom with daddy issues. Yeah, who clearly has issues. I put like that I was looking for men and women, and I thought like, well, maybe I'll start dating women instead, because I do enjoy women. I think women are beautiful. I love, looking at women and looking at men. I think women are more attractive.
Okay.
I'm not sexually turned on by them in a weird way. Like the thought of like vaginas are gross. Penises are gross, but vaginas are a little worse.
But looking at, you're like, this is more pleasant to look at.
Yeah, but women in general are like, I like talking to women more. I think that so and it sounds like I'm trivializing both sexes based on their appearance, but I also enjoy like just the company of women. So I thought I put both, and then I did have a date with one woman, and it just I don't know, that wasn't for me either. So I'm like, all right. The other issue I have, I'm also, like I said, I'm almost 6 feet tall. So like, I think if I were to date someone who is like shorter, then I'd feel masculine.
Okay.
And growing up, like I hated everything masculine about me, and I always hated that. So to invite that in to where I feel like more, of a like manly in a relationship, like I don't know that I don't know that I could do that.
You want to feel feminine with the person.
Yeah,
you're
exactly,
be with.
exactly. So I don't know.
When was the last time you were on a date?
Ooh,
like a date, not a like, hey, I'm just gonna come over and like gag you.
It was definitely the Bush administration. No, I think it was Obama. The last date.
That still makes me sad.
Yeah, I know. It was. That's the last time I actually went out on a date. We went to like lunch. It was fun, and then we made out a little bit afterwards. Although I did actually have I have had oral sex with guys.
Okay.
I've never actually had anything else though.
So what I'm hearing is like you haven't bottomed, or? All
right, no, I haven't bottomed. One of my friends, I actually have a friend who's a porn star in Vegas, and we went on a date, and it was he took me to a Dodger game. It was fun, and then nothing really happened, and he was very fun. He's very funny. He was talking about what So like, I don't think I want to have sex with you unless I can film it, you know? And I was like, which is kind of funny. And I, like half jokingly, and I was like, he's like, plus you're probably not ready for anal sex. I was like, what? I could totally, he's like, oh yeah? Are you waxed back there? And I was like, no, but it's not terrible. Yeah, you know, and then he's like, oh yeah? Did you eat all day today? And he's like talking about all the preparation people go through to have anal sex.
I think he's negging you into butt
maybe,
fucking.
but he's like, look,
You're not
look.
ready.
He's like, you don't understand. Like, if you're gonna have anal sex, eat a lot of cheese that morning. You know, he's like all sorts of. He's like, you need an enema. You need to do all the. Otherwise, it's not gonna be. And if you've never had it before, if you've never had anything up there before, my dick's big. No one's gonna enjoy it. Yeah. So he's just like this. Now I started thinking like, so wait, so anal sex is just like you need to prepare for this.
Wait. This requires cheese. This
I
is
mean,
what I gotta do for the more. Okay.
well, that's a little different. I think like if
Hold
you
up
take a
one.
sex toy, I think like you can, you know, it's not like crushing an erect penis. You know, I feel like
Okay.
if you have a very tight asshole and someone tries to shove a penis in there,
Well, I
it
think
probably
the
isn't
cheese
comfortable.
thing had to do with just like the type
Not
of
no shit coming
what
out.
bowel you're getting.
Yeah,
going
no
on.
shit coming out. So I mean, but I mean that is like softer for one. So I mean, like I'm sure you can squeeze it into places, but also if it comes out with like a little shit on it, it's probably not as bad as if like it were actually your dick with a bunch of shit on it.
That's fair.
That seems gross.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I can't completely relate to the experience, but
Well, the night is young.
but you were like, so you've done some oral with some dudes, and but
Yes.
you haven't been on a date in two presidents.
Yeah, well, president and a half. I
President
guess.
and a half.
Yeah.
You know, well, I mean, any day we could get a notification right now he dropped.
That's true.
And,
That's
You know,
true. What's the Biden clock at?
but you know, is it that you've stopped even trying to get like a
I
date?
think so. Like I gave up on dating sites, and like it's one of those things. Like if something happened, and I'm just terrified of dates. I'm terrified of like I still don't like what my body looks like. You know, it's better than it was.
Okay.
You know, it's a lot better than it was, and it's not terrible. But I still look at myself and I nitpick all the time. Like, oh. You know, maybe I'll find like
Sounds like a woman to me.
So, I know maybe I'll find someone who's really nearsighted, you know, and can't, you know, and then maybe in bed, like maybe he has like callous hands, so he can't feel my body either. Then maybe I'll just like,
Well, you want him to feel you up like Braille?
right, like sensory deprivation. That's what I want. I want someone who like can't feel or see anything. That's it. Yeah.
That's just, you just want a flesh body to grind up.
Yeah,
grind on?
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. But also funny.
Oh,
Also a good sense of humor.
the only sense he's allowed that he has to be able to speak, but he can't taste.
Right. I don't want him to taste or smell. Who knows what my breath's gonna be like?
You want just someone who's recovered from the worst case of COVID and didn't get the senses back.
Yes,
That's-
100%,
sounds like
100%,
good.
and also has like not very good sense. Like his hands are numb, so he can't feel me or see me. Otherwise, the perfect guy,
The perfect guy.
right? And tall.
It's just so weird that like you're describing the perfect guy as one who can still speak. Like when you said ball gag in the mouth, I think there are a lot of like women listening, being like, "This lady's got the right idea." That sounds like a great guy.
No, I don't mind. Like I don't know because I think maybe it's because I hang out with so many comics, and comics are predominantly guys. You
Yeah.
know, like at the cellar, like I have fun talking to most guys. I just have more fun hanging out with women. Like last night, I was just hanging out with like some of the women. We were at the WGA Awards. Humble brag.
Were you nominated for a thing?
I wrote for Inside Amy Schumer, and we won. I know
Awesome.
how. This is my first official thank you speech for it. No, and
I heard Michelle Buteau like crush. She was hosting.
Yeah, she was
I heard
great.
She crushed
She was
it.
great.
I saw some of the jokes on Twitter. I was like,
oh, she had some great jokes. And Amy was one of the presenters, and she nailed it too.
what was it like? I like the open bar. That was like the substitute for the residuals.
That was so funny. She really like hit hard in a lot of places. She was great. I was hanging out with some of the writers there, and it was like mostly women, and we were just having so much fun. It was great. I didn't even want to go, and then I was like so glad I did, just because, hanging out with them. So
Some say it's the kiss of death as a podcaster when you're trying to help dicks get and stay hard. And, by some I mean my inner monologue, looking back on nearly a decade, thrusting my sex life onto the internet. But then again, it's working out okay for Rogan, right? Joy Mode is my sponsor this week, and my professional insecurities about slinging supplements does not change the fact that Joy Mode's ingredients are proven to aid blood flow, circulation, and boost your sex drive. This feels like a natural progression in my career. As I get into my 30s, things are changing, My erections don't always show up as reliably as they used to. Sometimes I gotta trick my brain into remembering that my body's just fine. And Joy Mode can be that Jedi mind trick while still actually delivering valuable vitamins and minerals that you need. Try it today, like I did over 2 years ago, and get 20% off at usejoymode, USCJOYMODE.com/manwhore.
Remember that dude at the video store that knew way too much about movies, but always made you laugh? Whatever happened to that guy? Well, he started a podcast, Binge Watchers Podcast. Go listen at bwpodcast.com. And every month the shows host a new theme of episodes like Bad Romances, Back in the Day Hits, and an annual horror movie marathon called Summer Slash. Listen now at bwpodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored by the Amorous app. Tell me if you can relate to this. Your partner, your spouse, your significant other, they're texting you some pragmatic stuff, some logistics stuff. Hey, can you get that thing from the store? Oh, wait, what time's the thing tonight? And then they also try to interweave some sexy conversation. They're trying to get it going, and you completely miss it. Then they're frustrated with you that you're rarely in the mood, that you don't put an effort in the sexting and all this. And you're just like, I didn't even know we were doing the sexting now. I wasn't using my sexting brain. I wasn't there. This is why I love the Amorous app, because when something pings on the Amorous app, I know what that's about. I know I'm going to show up there prepared with all my best adjectives, all the synonyms for pussy. I keep the unsexy things to the text, and I keep the sexy sex to the Amorous app. Amorous is a private one-to-one app. This is not a dating app. You're not signing on and trying to sext with strangers. This is a tool to help you in your relationship or relationships. Amorous is free for Apple devices, with Android launching later this year. Check it out now and invite your flame to connect at amorous, amorous.net/manwhore, or click the link in the show notes. You can also play Amorous in the real world with their card game chat sparks 69 tantalizing and playful questions about desire and pleasure, perfect for your sexy couples night out or a spicy party. Again, go to amorous, amorous.net/manwhore and use code manwhore for 20% off your deck. Download Amorous today. Start sexting tonight. Do you have so much fun hanging out? Like, are you ever out and just like thinking like, ooh, like if I had more confidence, I'd go flirt with this person?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I wish I had more confidence to flirt with people, but I don't know. I also don't know if someone's attracted to me. Well, like someone's always be like, she's so into you, or he's so into you. It's like, no. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
But you also won't know till you talk to them.
I guess.
Can you handle the
last time that happened? I was like, it was actually a trans man. It was in Albany. I was like just started doing comedy, and like he was calling.
Albany has those now.
Maybe, yeah. I know. How about that? I know. How about that? It was we were hanging out a couple times, like him, myself, another guy, another like a bunch of us would hang out every night, and then we were just, he'd text me all the time. We text each other, just, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah. And then someone said, he's really into you, right? I was like, no, he's not. No, he's not. And it's like, no, he is. And then someone else said the same thing. He's really into you. So the next thing, we were sort of out, like just hanging out like we were going to anyway. And I made a move to make out with him. And he's like, whoa. He's like, I'm sorry, I don't like you that way. And I was like, holy shit, I'm such a fucking, like, that hurt. And
did you tell him, like, everyone told me to do?
Yeah, and then I told my friends, like, you're an idiot. He wasn't into me, and she laughed. I'm like, fuck you, fuck all of you, like, and so since then I'm like, you know what, maybe I should.
Good for you, because like it's good to make, even if you're wrong. Like,
yeah, but that was like a decade ago too, so
Yeah, you need to do that. Like, you need another swing at the bat if that's what Look, if you were telling me, Billy, I don't really care about that. I'm good with my cats. I'm this, that. I wouldn't push, but it's like I'm also someone who wants love and cuddles in a relationship and handle. I don't just want the ball gag. Right. You gotta be out there.
I know. That's what everyone says.
Gotta say hello. Gotta say hi. My name is. I think a lot of people underestimate how fine and normal.
Right.
Hi, my name is as an opener. When you say hi, my name is and compliment, you will immediately get some information non-verbally, at least, right? Like the way their eyes light up, the way they look at you. They might say like, actually say something that helps, but at minimum, like you can read some body signals just off of hi, my name is and a compliment. And based on their reaction, smile, no smile,
there we go.
How they say thank you, Do they just ignore me entirely? Right. This is all information. Either I'm stopping, or I can pursue, or I can be more explicit if they're just like, oh my God, thanks, and like, you're really cute. What's your, I'm Joanne. I don't know.
Right.
So I just think you get a lot. I think people get too worried about like, I need a pickup line or I need this. Like, how about just say like, hi, my name is, and say
That's
something
interesting.
nice.
All right. I'm still probably not going to do it, but thank you.
But
now
hope
I know.
that for you.
But I'm putting that in my bag of tools,
Yeah.
my dusty bag of tools,
It is a good bag of tools
in
to
the
have.
dusty tool shed.
Well, now you're sounding like a lesbian. It's like
Right. True. All right.
it might be time to get Lex
Right.
out there and get that on the phone.
I'll put it in my dusty sewing kit. How's that?
But like, I don't know. Like, would you be disappointed if you went the rest of your life without like
Not
that
really.
companionship?
Not really. I think I'd be fine with it.
Okay.
Quite honestly.
Do you view yourself as having like a strong relationship with your work?
I do, but also have a stronger relationship with my TV and my recliner.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought a TV and a recliner this past year, and yeah.
You bought a recliner in New York City.
Heaven.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like pre-transition, what was your dating life like?
I dated women, but that was more like I think I should date women and I also thought like, oh, I'll never be able to transition, so I should probably just date women, try and find someone, marry them,
Did you have any like serious relationships?
I mean, I did date someone in college for a couple years, but it was I hated every minute of it. I only did it because I thought I was supposed to.
What would you hate about it?
Like I wasn't really into her. I didn't. I mean, like she was fine looking and she was attractive. I just wasn't really into it. I didn't feel right. It's like I wasn't a guy, like to try and pretend to be a guy in this relationship with a woman when I like don't feel like a guy. It was just so, it was just weird, and it was just like it's so depressing to me. So, and then even like I tried one date with a guy, and it was like, wait, this doesn't work either. I'm not a guy with another guy, So it's just like that. And finally, it's like, maybe you can at least try transitioning, at least see if you can. And then, and that was it.
What do you remember? What your first date or few dates were like post transition, and how was it very different? Like, you say like I was on a date with a guy, but like as a guy, that doesn't feel right. But like
Right.
being on a date once you were like, well, now I'm starting to feel like a woman.
Right.
And
Yeah, I actually it did. It felt like, I mean, it was nice. It was nice to have someone like put their arm around me, and it just felt nice, and making out was
smiling
nice.
so big right now.
Aw.
Because it's like I'm feeling what that could have felt like.
Right,
like,
right.
Finally, someone put it around me.
Yeah.
I don't have to
And it was like,
do it.
right. It was like, I don't have to be the it was just like, and yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice. I mean, nothing ever lasted, but it is what it is.
But like it felt more real,
Yeah.
and correct for you.
Right.
Were there any other like subtle differences like that, like the arm around, like being big, like getting to be small spoon?
Yeah, exactly.
small spoons.
Exactly. Or just like sitting on the couch and like I'll lean back on him, or I'll put my head in his lap, and it just felt like it was just nice. So, and saying that now, it's like, yeah, but we'll see. So I'm open, but I'm not looking. Yeah, that's how I put myself.
Meanwhile, you walked in here, you're like, I don't know, it's could be pretty boring. I don't know what we could do.
I know.
There's a pretty flawless 52 and a half minutes.
Oh, nice. And I just feel like I think a lot of trans women especially have such great sex lives, or such interesting ones. I have a friend who's trans. She's hasn't had the surgery, and she like all she does is top guys. That's it. She's like, I don't like being a bottom. I'm just gonna top guys. Guys come over all the time. She tops them, just has like casual sex like a guy, and she loves it. So
yeah, but now I will say this, and I do not know if this is not the right way to phrase it. You'll politely tell me.
Right, absolutely.
I'm sure someone might be more pissed than you might be. Listen, but so it's like I've met some toppy trans women. Boy, do they still act like toxic dudes.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm just like, the estrogen didn't hit a certain part inside, because you are like being a real dickhead right now.
Right.
You are.
I can see that.
Aggressive and like mean.
Yeah. I can 100% see that.
I'm so curious. I would be so curious to read a book that talks about like trans people with toxic masculinity, both trans women who like the elements of toxic TM that have like retained or never left, right? And then also trans men who may try to, whether naturally or because they think that's how to be a man,
Right.
add toxic masculinity to themselves.
There's a lot of trans misogyny, as they call it. Yeah. So there's a lot of it, like in both directions. Like some like people who transition and still have the same like, and I think a lot of I don't know, it's hard to describe it. A lot of like, there's a lot of aggro trans men out there. I mean, a lot of great ones too, but that aren't. But it's out there for sure.
And I'm like, is that the T talking, or is that like something they're doing almost performatively? Because like, well, if I want to be a man, like this is how you be a man.
I think it's probably both. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's no doubt testosterone makes you more aggressive for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just like proven. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of trans women that just like grew up in that era, and then they still have that attitude, like you know, women belong in the anytime I see like some of those someone like in their 50s or 60s, like who's cis male, but they cross dress, you know, that era and the way they were raised, I think sometimes it shows. Like they'll wear like the girliest of outfits. It's like that's not how women dress, you know.
You know, maybe there'll be some studies about it, but like I would read a book all about just like what people who move from one gender to another, what like gets retained, like or like what's still so ingrained from being socialized in a way. Are you know, with some of the legislation that's coming out, or you know, Tennessee just did the drag bill thing.
Tennessee, South Carolina, Iowa, Oklahoma.
Did they all pass? I know Tennessee's just passed. But
yeah, I mean Oklahoma just introduced one that if you're a publicly funded hospital, you cannot do any gender care.
Well, in terms of
age,
as a comic, I was going to say like some of these performing bills. Mm-hmm. Are you nervous about where to even perform stand-up comedy, normal
that's
stand-up,
yeah.
as a trans woman?
No, I never even thought about that, honestly. And I'm sure I will be in Tennessee this year. I want to go on the road and hit all these states and be like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. I never thought about that.
I do have one last question for you. It comes from the Champagne Room, which is our Discord server. Y'all should come on in, hang out. Patreon members get to ask questions for my guests in the Ask the Guest channel. Chuck G had a question for you. He wanted to know, what performer or comedian got Jay into wanting to pursue comedy as a career? How has comedy as a career been for her as a trans person? And has she seen any evolution in audiences in how they respond to her and her material?
Yeah, I think for the most part, yes, there are. I think only one time has someone, like maybe twice, someone's walked out once I said I was trans. But for the most part, like crowds.
Wait, they walk out when you say it?
Yeah,
as if they're like,
right when I say I'm trans.
Know.
Yeah. But I mean, crowds.
Any part of you go like, oh my god, thank you. Like,
yeah, I'm like, all right, fuckface. Like that's so sweet. That you didn't know. I think some of my earliest influences, like, Mitch. I think the first comic I ever saw on Letterman was Jake Johansson.
Wow, nice pull.
Yeah, he was
the kids
great.
today don't know who that is. He's in the Aristocrats.
Well, he was like one of those guys. He did Letterman like 40 something times. Yeah. It was insane, and like that was the coolest thing to go downstairs and watch Letterman, to sneak downstairs late at night and see comedy. He was one of the first. And then there are other. I mean, Joan Rivers was always great. Don Rickles, I think, was great. Some of those older. And then as I started to listen to more comedy, Jesselnick, Mitch Hedberg, you know, you can't go wrong with those two. And Sarah Silverman. Those are my favorites for sure. I don't know, what was it? And
then the thing was just, you know, how, you know, I think you addressed like, you know, have you seen an evolution in how audiences, you know, react to your presence and your material?
Absolutely. I mean, I think when I first started,
because you've been doing this a long time, we should also say.
Yeah,
like,
I 2009 I started. So
2008,
yeah. So, so almost, it'll be what, 14 years in October.
Killer.
Like when I first, like at first I didn't even tell people I was trans. I just didn't want to like be pigeonholed, quote unquote, as a trans comic. So I thought I just want to tell funny jokes. That's it. About 3 or 4 years in, I started talking about being trans, and it was great. You know, I get a great reaction. But then I think at the time, like it was less known then. So like even though people did know what trans was, they weren't really like super up on it. It was more like an obscure thing, and now everyone knows what being trans is.
Yeah.
And no matter where you go in the country. So I mean, like that Nebraska thing, like there are people who didn't know a lot of stuff or had the wrong idea, but now you see it everywhere. And I think just it's been great, but it's also the country's just become so dichotomized, or it's just you're either pro-trans or anti-trans for some reason. And the fact that this happened, it's weird. It's very weird for sure. That's probably the worst thing. But in New York, it's been great. And the fact that I think there are still places where I think they don't want to listen to me. Like I don't think they'll want me to perform in certain areas, or certain clubs because I'm trans. But where I'm at
you
now,
turn down gigs because of that.
Yeah. Oh, I have been. Yeah, people have turned me. Have like, there's one club like Mitch Fatel wanted to bring me along as a feature, and they said no because they didn't want a trans person. This is like 5 or 6 years ago. So, but I think it's now people just like, I don't know. I think it's gotten better and it's gotten worse. But where I'm at now, I'm pretty happy. So I can't complain.
Good.
And I think like for any opportunity that's been where the door was shut in my face, I think one has opened up in that cheesy way. Like I do a lot of like conferences and things like that for trans people, which I wouldn't have that. So
killer.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, thanks for coming by. I'm glad.
It's great seeing you again.
Can we start working on the calendar for 2031, maybe 2033?
Sure.
I don't know, give or take.
Yeah. Let's see
pandemic if one happens again.
Let's see what happens. Yeah. Let's see how much of us survive the climate change apocalypse first, and then we'll talk.
Well, in the meantime, where can people go to find you, follow you? Watch you tell jokes.
Well, I have a special coming out. It'll be out March 17th. I don't know when this is coming out, but St. Patrick's Day.
It'll be out next week. Next Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day. Daddy's Girl. You can listen to that. It'll be out. You can see me on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram. Just Jaye McBride. TikTok. I just started doing. We'll see. I feel that's a lot of attitudes about TikTok.
And I'm a regular at the Cellar, so if you ever want to come see me at the Cellar sometime.
Best comedy club in the city, possibly the country.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't go wrong with the Cellar.
Absolutely.
So if you can get tickets,
absolutely.
That place is sold out a lot. But if you can get tickets to see Jay at the Cellar, you gotta go. I highly recommend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, like Chris Rock was popping by last week, just showing up. It was great.
Well, Jay, thanks again. This was great. And why don't you go ahead and say goodbye to everybody?
All right, goodbye, everyone.
If any of you were curious, I did ask her after we recorded if she would ever do stand up naked, and she said absolutely fucking not. She was like, "Well, have you ever had a trans comic on?" I was like, no, we had a non-binary one, but not trans. And then I was like, "Well, would you?" And she's like, "It's not going to be me, dude." I'm all for booking funny people with diversity in mind, but I gotta say, with a naked comedy show, you gotta give cut someone some slack. I take the funny comics I can get with that one. I'm looking forward to Daddy's Girl dropping on Friday on YouTube. I'm gonna check it out. Hope you do too. I have links to all of Jay's stuff in the show notes. I got links to all of my stuff in the show notes. The best and most private place to discuss this week's show with other listeners is in the episode discussion channel in the Champagne Room. Have you not downloaded Discord yet? What are you doing? Discord, it's the future. Go Nitro. You can join the conversations today at manwhorepod.com/Discord or click link in the Where Show notes. If you want to share your thoughts, your comments, your criticisms, your feedback personally with yours truly, if you need some help, you need some advice, if you want to tell me your tragic stories of dating a podcast bro, or an aspiring Instagram travel blogger, you can shoot me an email at manwhorepod@gmail.com. Do you like books? I think I know you do. As you know, we have a lot of authors who come on the pod to promote their stuff, like Hallie Lieberman, Lindsay Miller with her new Pegging book out that she co-wrote with Cooper Beckett. You can now support independent bookstores and an independent slut boy in Brooklyn by doing your book shopping at Billy's Slutty Bookshelf. Visit bookshop.org/shop/Billy. Gosh, that's a mouthful. You can also just go click the link in the show notes. Do all your book shopping over there. I get a cut on the back end, and you're guaranteed that your purchase came from an independent bookstore, not the Burns & Noodle or the Zamenon, because those places are low-key kind of evil. And if you do visit Billy's Slutty Bookshelf, you'll actually see some lists I've created, all my favorite history books, my favorite sex and dating books. And there's also a list just of all the books by Man-Whore Podcast guests. I will thank you in advance for adding some ethics into your shopping practices. Okay, everybody. Next week, we got another stand-up comedian. I should be having on Gabe Malika. He's got a one-man show that's about to start running again in New York, and it's all about being like a man in your 30s and trying to make friends. And I saw that and thought, fuck, that is relatable. So I invited him on the pod, and I was like, yo, you want to do the podcast or like be friends? No big deal. I know some of you were rooting for me and Vishal, but the boy seems busy. I think I'm gonna keep pursuing that track, but we'll see. Stay friendly, everybody, and stay slutty.
Hi, human. Welcome to the God Pod. I'm God, and like Jesus, I'm hanging in there.
If you like interviews with the most interesting people alive or dead, then you'll love the God Pod.
Here's me talking to Mary Trump about her crazy uncle.
I knew he was going to be disastrous.
And here's me debating a real live atheist.
You really cannot make the case that this is a good book.
I discuss all the latest current events down on Earth.
Find the God Pod wherever you get podcasts.
The God Pod. Have it Yahweh.